Hello, my name is Tiit and I'm an architect and architect of this stylish northern style house. This house is a prefab home. It's made of prefab panels. Entire construction is made of wood, and as you can see, it's located in a really beautiful place. As you see, it is located in really beautiful place. You have a view to the sea. Because of the sea view, you will see on the terrace like extra window. And at first glance, we wanted to put the house with all the front looking at the sea. But actually, the sea has one problem, and it's the wind. So it's quite windy. And with this kind of solution, we were able to cut the wind. So you can still use the terrace with windy weather because it has this longer wall in between terrace and the sea. Another reason why we put this house facing this direction is because of the privacy of the family. As in this side of the plot we have just the forest, there is no another plots, so it's kind of creates really nice space. While being in your courtyard, you don't see any neighbor houses, and it's quite private in there. This house is located near Tallinn, about 20 kilometers from Tallinn, near a place named Muuga. The house itself, it's not very big. It's about 135 square meters. It has height about 5 meters, and from higher end and from lower end it's about 3.5 meters, outside dimensions. And as you see, in order to fit this kind of house into this plot, we had to create a big window here, which is actually a window between outer wall, which is actually a window between dividing two outer spaces. And the idea of the window is to have the views to a beautiful sea, while still being you have option to stay in shade of the hard wind, because it's quite windy here, and especially at fall. This house is created for a small family with two small children, and it's also one-story building basically, which makes all the logistic of the house really simple and easy. This house consists of 2 tubes. The bigger one has a living room and kitchen and eating space, and another part of the house consists of 3 rooms, 2 sleeping rooms and 1 cabinet, and there is also a normal size bathroom. There is no sauna in this unit, but the idea is the same as we have in all this kind of tube houses. It has a big area for family to gather, to spend time all together, and for me, the most important thing of this house is actually the big living room, and the sleeping rooms are just have a nice logistics and they work well, but the most important, the heart of this house, as heart of all these tube houses, is actually living room. And the geometry of the house is also, from one side it's much higher than from another side, and the idea is to have in the space where you spend most of your time, you have a higher ceiling, you have more air, you have more light, and you have better connection with the nature, surrounding nature. Construction is of the house, the main construction is all wooden. It has wooden cladding. Also the terrace has wooden boards, but in this case the windows are plastic. But in order to make those plastic windows look nicer, we didn't want to use white plastic windows, so we decided to use quite dark tones, and that way the windows still look nice and don't look cheap, as usually is the problem with plastic windows. The walls of this house, they are well isolated. They have 32 centimeters of mineral wool, plus wind barrier, plus all the necessary different layers. Interior of the house is mostly covered with gypsum board, but behind gypsum board there is this OSB board, which gives it more rigidity and makes it more durable. This house has concrete foundation, which is well isolated, has about 20 centimeters of isolation material, and on the roof there is 45 centimeters of isolation material, so it's really well isolated and warm house. Although it has quite a lot of glass facade, all this glass has triple windows, so it's also actually quite warm and really nice place to be. Look at the view. In all tube houses we don't have this kind of terrace window, but this window is specially designed for this location, for this house, for this owners, because they really wanted to spend more time outside, and in order to do it in such a window climate and in order to maintain the views to the sea, this window is quite a perfect solution, I would say. All these elements of the house, they were made in factory, and almost all this nice wooden board you see here was also put in place in factory beside the corners of the solutions, like they were detailed at the location. But as you see, there are this kind of wooden boards, and these wooden boards kind of go behind each other, and therefore this avoids like wind getting in and rainwater getting into the house, and it creates kind of a really nice solution, because this it's black color, and the wooden boards they are not too smooth. They are like they are sawed, and that's it, and then painted, and they have their like structure and nice touch, nice different touch. By now, all these tube prefab homes they are made in dark colors, or they are painted in dark colors. And maybe some people think that dark or black is somehow depressing, but for me it's kind of if you make a dark color of the house, it fits better to the nature actually, because all the colors we see, surrounding colors, they are like quite I wouldn't say dark, but they are not too light as well. It fits better with the ground. That way, I would say that this contrast between interior of the house, which is light and almost always white colors, and between the outside of the house, it functions really well. Like you have a different feeling looking at the house and entering it at the house, and you have little like surprise. If you get inside, if you get into interior, in which you actually see light walls and you see high ceilings and you see a sky coming out of the window, coming in from the window, and it actually looks stylish, I think. So, building a new house, why not to consider dark colors? As you can see here, this house has some small niches. Family owning this house really wanted to have kind of small garden element in front of the house, which is kind of inviting and where they can take care of the plants and have a nice entrance and inviting place to enter to your house. And as you see also on another side of the house we have this kind of niche where you have a light spot. So at the evenings you see this kind of different element, inviting element of the house. Many of the tube house have a ground heating system, but this particular house has a heating system. It's like air water heating system. Like this is heat pump, and it pumps warm outside warm into the house basically. And all this heating of this house is based on floor heating, so it has water pipes inside and warm water is heating all the house. This house is also all about light and views. As you saw, there is a beautiful view to the sea, and there is also beautiful view to the garden, and there is a lot of privacy in here also. And the design is a little bit different than in other this kind of houses because the owners themselves are really like doing a lot of the works by hand to themselves, and they are kind of also are really creative and have different kind of solutions here. For example, we have really beautiful wooden boards ceiling here, and all the colors, all the walls are painted in different colors, and there is beautiful floor. As all another tube houses, also this house has heat exchanger based ventilation system, which gives it energy efficiency, and it's really like quite brings the cost of the maintenance down. From this side, southern side, we have a ceiling about 4 meters high, and from another part it's 3 meters high. Yes, there is beautiful view and sky and beautiful nature outside.